back to homosexuality and lesbianism, it is spiritual. God created your eye to do what?
To see.
Your ears.
To listen.
Your nose.
To smell.
Your leg.
To walk.
Your mouth.
To talk and eat.
Okay. So if God gives you a manhood, a womanhood, it has a purpose. And the moment you use it for something else, it is called perversion. And perversion is a sin. Not just a sin against God, but even against your own soul and spirit. I have lived in Europe since the mid-80s. And I can tell you one of the most terrible things that have happened to most young men and women is homosexualism and lesbianism. There are walk-in clinics in London where I live with my wife and children. And walk-in clinics, if you see the number of pads that are brought out, men can take like my type, they wear pad because their anus is torn and they have to wear pad like a woman in a period, in a menses, before they are able to wear trousers like I'm wearing now. Now, we are inculcating this habit here in Ghana, and it is sad. If you go to Akotolante, where I was born at Jamestown. My mother is from Osu, and my father is from Dodowa, but I was born at Jamestown. If you go to Akotolante in Jamestown, and you see the number of young men and women in homosexualism and lesbianism, you cry. I'm not old, I know.
In Ghana?
In Ghana, here in Accra. In fact, I'm using a typical place. I was born there. I was born at Jamestown. I even had to go and do a crusade in Jamestown and made an altar call for homosexual and lesbians. I should be making reference to my own place. I believe charity begins at home. It's happened in a lot of places. But I'm using Akotolante and say, if you go now, Kojo Besia is on the rampart. And this is not just an attitude or a habit or a konoboni. It's spiritual, a home. Look at any man who is a homosexual. Yeah. It's foolishness. But then it also brings sickness. Most of hepatitis today and HIV today and some of the sexually transmitted diseases today has come as a result of this. Unfortunately for them, the people who come to mess up with them and get them into this act of lesbianism or homosexualism, they just give them little money and they sleep with them. And so we need to, even as a government, as a people, our political leaders should start including that in their manifesto. Now, we want to copy the West. In the West, they have clinics. Ghana here, those of us who have lived in Europe for a long time, when we come back and we go to hospitals, in fact, when my wife and children enter into hospitals here, it's like it's a death warrant for them. Because we don't have the equipment, let alone what equipment you can get to take care of the effect of homosexuals and lesbianism. So there's a gentleman called a lawyer, Moses Fuamoni, who is an anti-homosexual and gay campaigner. I support him fully because I know what effect has caused. And also, ever since I entered into ministry and understood the ministry of deliverance, no say that thing is very transferable. That spirit is very destroying. A lot of people today who are living into masturbation and certain things started from certain things. And I want to tell you a story. I was lecturing in a university in the UK. A beautiful Ghanaian girl, not any Ghanaian, of course, Miss Race, came to me and said, Brother Lawrence, I have a problem. Said since she was 26, no man has proposed to her before. Now, if you see the lady, I'm a man. I know beautiful ladies, like the two of you. I know you are very, very beautiful and good looking.
Thank you.
Oh, me who are the pa? Me who are the pa meaning?
Oh, yeah.
Me who are the pa meaning? You look at the way you are even feeling about yourself.
When she said she has 6 kids, I'm like my mate.
You understand? She says since she was 26 years old, no man has ever proposed to her.
Like.
She was 36 at the time we spoke. It means for 10 years, a PhD research fellow in a very renowned university in the United Kingdom where I was studying too. And no man proposed to her. So what said if she wants to ease herself and have sex or make love, it is a cleanest who are male that she offers herself to. As I spoke to her, something occurs to me spiritually. That what does it think she's done that is not right? As I held hands to start praying for him, Pastor Baba, you didn't believe it. I heard the word lesbianism, suppeism. So I said, I don't normally do this. Are you into suppe and things? So she started shaking. She said she went to school in Ghana here. Okay. She went to one of the girls' schools in Ghana. Sometimes you want to also be careful because some of these things you say, you don't want to undermine any school.
Yes, yes.
She went to a girls' school here in Ghana. And in the girls' school, she had, like what Pastor Baba is saying, she had a senior prefect. When she was in Form 1, she had a sixth former who took care of her. So when you were saying it was just adding up to that story. So it was the lady who introduced her. Or didn't say she said fingering her, touching her, doing anything. And said she got excited about it. Her senior. Because of that, nobody did anything to her in first year. When the lady finished, until she finished sixth form, constant relationship. Then she became born again in sixth form. And the lady said, we'll see who will be excited about you. Came to the UK. After university, they tried to resolve. It was when she was 25 years old that she really became strongly a born again. Said, rubbish, I can't do this thing anymore. And the woman said, then you see that nobody will love you anymore. So from 26, so she was 36.
10 years, spiritual marriage.
Now, when we took her to, of course, those were the days of Crefeld, where wild young men and things, school fellowship, grabbed this lady in the evening. It was an ugly deliverance. The odor, the things that happened. Then I realized that this homosexualism is more spiritual than you can imagine. In fact, if anybody is listening to me today, the most unwisest thing you can do to yourself is to live yourself like that. And hear me, in the realm of the spirit, you end up getting married to a spirit, and no man will virtually love you. Now, people who also enter into homosexualism are never satisfied by love. Because your level of perversion messes you up. It's like somebody who is very much into masturbation. If you get to do masturbation so much, I'm told it will be very difficult for you to get a man or a woman properly give you satisfaction. Homosexualism is a spirit and is destroying people now. And to be honest with you, we should not hide away from the truth. It's happening in Ghana. It's destroying people in Ghana. It's at high places. There are a lot of people in prominence today in Ghana that foolishly have ended up becoming lesbianism. In fact, there are a lot of people today who have vibrators that they are either into homosexualism, into lesbianism, and more inside supi. By the time you realize, no, is there any spiritual? Why is it spiritual? The enemy knows how to get you from the will of God for you to end up in his grip. And so we need to work on it.
Okay. When you were talking, you were calling for our leaders, the politicians, and all that. But you said it is spiritual. So I was thinking you would rather call the pastor, since it is spiritual, because they handle the spiritual affairs of the country. So I was thinking you will put it to them that it is your responsibility.
You come from the flesh and
then
you
get to the spirit. Okay. So if they can do something, so now, because now they don't want to hide anymore. They are coming out now. When you go to social media, you will see them coming out now boldly. Before it's abominable for you to talk about, say, oh yes, simple. But now they are coming out. It's not that they are coming out to condemn it, but they are coming out to justify their actions.
You'll be surprised this program, the comments we hear, of course, without being too arrogant, I am more known than the two of you. So if you look on social media now, after this program, the comments you see about Lawrence, you'll be shocked. Most of the people writing the comments are people who are in need themselves.
Yeah. Oh.
It is a cartel. It's a big cartel. And people you expect to be responsible are in it. Of course, in the Western community, the devil has used it in such a way that it is a sexual orientation and things. Remember, there was a time there were some European leaders who said Ghana should do it. Atamil stood firm and said, no, that's the only way you should be sponsored. No. As we speak now, America is very much into it. The President of America has really endorsed it. We need a miracle. We need to pray. So, as for the pastors, they are doing their part. But if we and our leaders can stand to it, then it helps us to give us a basis from which they can be delivered. We can do our part privately and quietly and minutely, but on a larger scale, we need our leaders. And hear me, the saddest thing about our leaders in Ghana is that no political leader in Ghana here can say they are not Christian. At least the people you and I can relate to. President Rawlings of blessed memory was a Catholic. President Kufuor, who is still alive, is a Catholic. President Atta Mills is a Methodist. President John Mahama is a Assembly of God member. And President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is an Anglican. All of them
are Christians, and their power is superior to the pastors.
Still,
they can say
they want to be politically right. All our leaders. So you don't take anybody out of it. So we need to pray.
We need to pray. We need to pray. Auntie Baba, would you wakum da na unim what it takes and na the etie. Me person maybe say a dem pain the woman now because we free mu. We don't need to go back, but then I walk actually or more obia also our womb. One crop for now, or no, we may be a few and no so woman. How who saying say, and now woman then I'll be catching Obin swire not Junis or become foot to obey in our man.
That's it. Well, fortunately for me, well, strangely with me, Mediano, I didn't get the boldness to initiate people. I think it was just a short phase of my life. But I will say this. Because of the first program I did, a lot of people in the past 2 weeks have reached me. Many have reached me. I want to use this platform to say this. Please, as much as the act of homosexualism and lesbianism, all of these things are, sexual perversions. Please do not let us become harsh and hate the people in it. The last 2 weeks has been a journey for me. A lot of people are now chatting me up on Facebook. Minsumi Womo, the youngest is only 6.5 years, and Maame and Onemekasafan. I want to say this first to anyone that is in it. I want to tell you this, that you are special to God. And I'll tell you what, if God took me out and has brought me to this point and is taking me on, Nyame otumifa adefuno a emfata bia na wafana we siesie intino sa wo na sa wo hwen a de sane adadi kan a ye kan kire wo no say obitumi no weed ni ade na wo school no. Please don't think that your life, because some say Christians hate them. You are not hated, you are loved. It's just what you are in that is destructive. And so I want to tell you this, that we don't hate you. If you are in, help is there for you. Reach out to some of us and we can help you. Number 2, I want to address parents that found out that their kids have been involved in either lesbianism or homosexual. I am one person that it's difficult. I don't judge people. I have had a very interesting cocktail of a background such that it makes me fall in love with anybody that comes my way. Metesa, sorry, me instrumentalist, they not about dreadlocks near the uncle. I love them the way they are. Sometimes I buy them the earrings myself. So I offer share. The Holy Ghost to work in them, take them through their process. Every parent, I will be able to find it out, say, Oba Bema. They've either been into it before or you just found out that they are into it. Don't go and phone saying good thing. I say, boy, my word the flow of fear. Don't do that. A difficult a situation when you find, especially in the African setting here. Nkrofobe jajo na nkrofobe ka do sumesi ni bay or today and answer so to say mpacho nyakugudro ne jina. Don't condemn your child. Don't look down upon him or her. Don't throw him or her away. Embrace that child. More love will change the person. More love and prayer and counseling will change the person. But say, if so condemn it, akolano, no bend the rest of the kids cry, you are pointing fingers at them. Embwa, I think so. Sa onya kuno wa sorry ya. So far wa sorry na no. Please, we are begging you. Jesus did not come for the righteous. Jesus came for sick people. That is why we need him. The church is supposed to be a clinic. It's supposed to be a hospital, not for pretenders and hypocrites. We need friends, real people who will come to church with their issues, and the church must be able to respond with love, not with spite. Don't condemn anybody. As much as is evil, it affects you. It can affect you to the extent that you didn't go Obeka say, I hate Daddy Lawrence for Nyawakano because the Bible says that we have become so blinded spiritually. But I want to tell everybody out there that is watching us say, Mbwa ewo homa asofo mama yen sorry mama yen sorry ni yen kan wasem na sofo bia wawre bia ozibi me da say.
Daddy, in 1 minute, summarize my then I yen kanchom enkola yen educate yen ba na de na ba obi kan wansa ma yen chin ntuma na de ne yenye. What can we do to limit it? At least yen stop people yen limit na explode.
We all have a collective responsibility. The church, the clergy, every individual, our political leaders, we have a collective responsibility. If we don't seize and stop this now, in the next few years it will mess it up. Boys and girls that are supposed to be responsible, and at the end of the day, life will not be the same. Remember, the same politicians who think, oh, we should have right now, we are the same people who realize that we will not have the caliber of people to take things serious. So let us wake up. And in waking up, no, we shouldn't joke about it at all. We have to be serious with our life. Otherwise, we don't even have the equipment to keep them and to deal with them. And it's not West. The cultures will pick from the West. It's not all the cultures that are acceptable here.
Thank you.
We have our own way of life. And for us, it's an abomination. And if we see it as an abomination, boy, traditional rules. In fact, I went to the chief imam. And I spoke. There was going to be a conference here in Ghana. And Ghana was happy to receive the conference. Yeah, there was going to be a homosexual conference, international conference here in Accra. So I went to chief imam. It became, if you go Google Lawrence Tetteh and chief imam, it will come, it became viral. And I spoke to chief imam openly. And I said, chief imam, we cannot accept it. And I said, Memuna didn't marry Abiba. And Amina didn't marry Ishitu. So did Peter didn't marry Ali. So the man's own is for a woman's own, a woman's own for a man's own. It's not for something else.
You heard, doctor.
And so that is how it was kept. And the Muslims, it meant a lot to them. They took it up. The Christian leaders took it up, and by the grace of God,
limited. So they are under there. So we should kill it.
Yes.
Under there. Okay, you heard, doctor. I don't have anything to say. Yes, penny jari we are na insu asante menuma samasa waka say we. What say the auntie baba kan we tie the doctor so aka me de me ni hweka. Ne woni American say baby awo bi ayedo ne bi won so act ni bi de yensuro. So won ni American. Radinka yin now same time next week e beba why. Bye.